moving on to some tweets. We're starting with Benny Shaps.
Oh boy!
Ben, a wet vagina is a sign of disease, Shapiro, says, the moderators of the story of the evening, and it isn't a good story. So, what's hilarious to me is, like, I pointed out how unfair the moderators were being in Trump's favor. And Twitter was just alive all throughout the debate with right-wing nutjobs complaining about how unfair the moderators were being to Trump. Like, did I play the clip on the actual show? I don't remember whether that was behind the scenes thing, but like where the moderators interrupted Harris.
I think you did it on the show
to like railroad her.
But maybe play it again here. Like, the context is still useful.
So, like, the one fucking time that Harris, so Trump all night, he interrupted, and as soon as he interrupted, his mic would be unmuted, and the moderators would just let him talk. The one time Harris tried to interrupt, this is what happened. No, need to actually go to here. Where am I going?
I just need to
President Trump.
No, the former president has said something twice that I need to respond to.
I'm sorry. We're going to move on, Vice President Harris.
To what he
President
has said
Trump, this is now your third time running.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they let Trump just plow through whatever the fuck he wanted to talk about, gave him almost unlimited time. But as soon as Harris was like, hey, he said a thing that I want to respond to, they're like, no, we got to move on. You're muted. Bye. On to Trump. He spoke 40% more than she did. 40 fucking percent. And they're saying that the moderators were favoring Trump because he got fact-checked 4 times.
Oh, boo-hoo, you got fact-checked, baby. Do you remember how often we'd see in the news that the Trump campaign was specifically wanting a debate without fact-checkers? Like, that was a prerequisite they were trying to push for.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a candidate are you if the thing you're trying to push for is no fact-checkers? Why do you need that?
The one who on the first day he was president, his press secretary said that, like, oh no, we're working with alternative facts here, or whatever the fuck she said.
Man, that just sounds like something from the Bush era. That he was the one who said alternative facts first in, like, major media shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this was a fun one. This is more personal to me, so they wouldn't have to censor me. I9231 says, why does every atheist YouTube channel devolve into a left-wing political channel? I know this is hard for progressives to believe because they have black and white view of the world, but there are libertarian and conservative atheists too. Yeah, no, we know that you guys exist.
Mm-hmm.
We just recognize that reality has a left-leaning bias.
Also, if this were 6 years ago, he'd be complaining that those same channels moved to the right. Because that's what happened.
No.
8 years ago.
The people who moved to the right complained that all the atheists were on the left back then as well. It's the same song and dance. They just are less popular now than they were then. And it's the same ones too. Like there hasn't been a whole lot of turnover. Like it's still Sargon and Thunderfoot and all the guys that were relevant back in 2012. Mm-hmm. But like the new when I say new atheists, I don't mean like the Dawkins, Dennett, Hitchens new atheists. I mean like atheists that have been on YouTube starting
the post TJ Kirk atheists.
Yeah,
the ones that they watched Amazing Atheist. And
even
TJ
Kirk has come around and become more left wing than he used to be.
He's become far more left wing than he used to be.
He's actually not as big of a piece of shit as he used to be. I'm not willing to endorse him and say he's actually good now. But
that's fair. I've only ever had one conversation with him, so I can't. And it was like, if you count like 2 or 3 sentences each, a conversation. So I don't have a whole lot of context outside of what he shows in his content. And what he shows in his content, I actually do enjoy now versus then.
Yeah.
However, I actually can speak to this personally, and I don't know if this is the same journey that you went through, Rhino, but as for me, the reason why my atheist channel devolved into a left-wing political channel was very simple. I covered the NIFB. And it wasn't just the NIFB, but organizations like the NIFB.
Siding with Sargon of Akkad is putting me on the same side of this issue as the NIFB. should I reevaluate this?
Like,
and not in a genetic fallacy way where because it came from the NIFB it must be bad, but more if this is coming from the NIFB, I need to look at why it's coming from them. It
smells a certain way.
Yeah.
So for me, as I started covering more and more religious content, I noticed there were some commonalities in a lot of very popular religious content on YouTube. And that was that the conversations about whether or not God existed, the really philosophical ones, were not the ones I was getting as concerned about. The like philosophy part of my brain that was fixated on that loved that conversation. But more often than not, the people that looked like they mattered in these spaces were the ones who were using Christianity as a way to argue for anti-gay shit, anti-trans shit. These people would constantly be arguing against minority groups and using Christianity as their shield for that. They would hide behind it for their shield. So arguing as an atheist content creator against that Christian content inevitably meant I had to do more and more research and more fact checking, not about stuff that was or wasn't in the Bible, but about statistics about gay people and trans people and reading about gender. And I wanted to be thorough when I was doing my videos, so I would read up and figure out all of the ways that they were wrong in a certain thing that they said. And what I would find is I just ended up making more and more political content over time because that's what they were fucking talking about.
So if I could be real for a sec, one of the things that stopped me from becoming a right-wing YouTuber is very similar to how I ended up stopping religion. Is that, like, in Christianity, I noticed this one little tiny contradiction that, like, on its own wasn't really a problem. It had ways to solve it or whatever, but it was the first crack that had me looking and like had me considering that like maybe there are others. And once I noticed that there was one, being able to notice the others was fairly easy. And similarly, I was like, when I started my YouTube channel, I watched a lot of Sargon of Akkad, Bering, Amazing Atheist back when he was even back then he was a bit much for me, so like I would watch him like once in a while.
It was mostly like, Thunderfoot for me.
Sure. Same idea, like the people that were all complaining about Anita Sarkeesian for ages. But one of the things that all of them kept saying was that people on the left don't know how humor works. They can't do jokes. They can't take a joke. They can't do edgy humor. Or whatever.
The left can't meme, that kind of shit.
But I also, during this time, I also listened to god-awful movies. And so, like, while they're over here saying the left can't meme, these guys who are very clearly left-leaning were, like, making jokes about digging up Phyllis Schlafly's corpse and fucking it. Like, clearly there's edgy humor going on here that is fine on the left. And like if you talk to the god-awful movie guys, they will tell you that they have grown since 2016 and they would probably not make the same Phyllis Schlafly jokes anymore, but like they still do have like the edgier humor or whatever. But like that was the cognitive dissonance. That was like, I have all these people on the right telling me that people on the left can't do funny things, but my favorite funny podcast is one where the guys are all very clearly left-leaning, and it's fucking hilarious. And that actually, I credit Eli Bosnick and his very, very edgy humor that he probably would not, like a lot of the jokes he probably would not repeat today. But like back in 2016, 2017, when this is what I was going through, he was doing it like clearly these guys are on the left and they're being edgy like you're saying they can't. So you're wrong about that. So what else are you wrong about? And that was like the crack in the door.
That makes perfect sense. Because like especially when you're the type of person who the only reason that they are right wing, because this happens a lot on like Chan boards, right? Where the only reason that certain people are right wing is they feel like that's where they can say the offensive things. They feel like that's where they can do the like the mean kid kind of Xbox 360 humor.
Ryan George just today released a video making fun of comedians who go right wing and start a podcast about how canceled they are and everything. And it's spot on, as most Ryan George things are.
Yeah. Randall in my chat points out that George Carlin was kind of edgy. I don't know. I'm like,
yeah,
George Carlin was very edgy, and he was also pretty far left.
Very left wing. Yeah, absolutely.
I remember having an argument with one of my older friends who was right wing, and I don't know what his political alignment is right now because we lost touch. But I remember having the argument about Carlin, where he said that you couldn't be as edgy as George Carlin today, and that's the problem with the left. And I'm like, but George Carlin was the left, and yes, we can. We can be just as edgy. What?
Alex Merkel says the left wing invented humor, Rhino. The right wing are garbage imitators. So here's the thing. I would almost suggest that King of the Hill was written from a right wing perspective, a very conservative perspective, and it still manages to be a funny show. And but that's because they actually have empathy for people that are on the left, and they present the more left-leaning side of things from a more realistic perspective, and they're not afraid of poking fun at themselves.
It's better than what you get with like Mr. Burgess, which is obviously trying to be a king of the hill.
It's trying to be king of the hill, but they don't understand the left wing, so they can't properly be a king of the hill because King of the Hill did. But King of the Hill, I would argue, is a very conservative show, but it's still fucking funny. And it's still good.
Well, and the big thing with King of the Hill, the thing that I do like about it is that the concession that is made by the show writers is that Hank Hill doesn't know everything. He doesn't always know what's right, and the world is moving past him, and most episodes are him learning how to catch up.
Yeah,
like that's like the best King of the Hill episodes, and I would argue 80%,
it's not just learning.
Of them is playing catch up.
So it's not just him learning how to catch up; it's him learning how to catch up without compromising his core values. And they do a phenomenal job with it. So, yeah. Anyway, Dale Partridge says, any man voting for Kamala is effeminate. He wants to be ruled by a woman. He wants babies to be unprotected. He wants feminism to progress. He wants government to care for him. This isn't a man being secure in his masculinity. This is a man abdicating his masculinity.
Let's see here. So point by point, do I want to be ruled by a woman? I don't want to really be ruled by anybody, but I'd be fine taking one for a president. So, he wants babies to be unprotected. From what? from what?
He's talking about abortions. He's not meaning babies. He's meaning fetuses.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I don't need fetuses to be unprotected. I need them to be in shell caps for my shotgun.
I've been snipped, so the fetus ain't my problem.
Like, the next one is like, he wants feminism to progress. Well, yes, I would like it to progress. I mean, it depends on which ways it's progressing, but for the most part, I'm okay with that.
You know how I said yesterday was our anniversary of when we started dating?
Yeah.
And the kids, I think we talked about it on stream. I talked about how the kids married us or whatever. Yesterday was also one of the reasons, like, we actually forgot about our anniversary. This was a very last minute, like, oh, I'm at the store. I should buy some flowers or something, because we both forgot about it because we've been so busy recently. And one of the things we've been busy with is yesterday was also her first day of work. She's got her practicum placement, which is basically the therapy version of an internship. So she's not getting paid yet, but this is like the home stretch. And side note, I'm so fucking proud of her. She's worked so fucking hard for this, and I am absolutely ecstatic that she's finally getting to a place where, like, she's actually working in the workforce and not just like studying the theory. And it's phenomenal being a partner who has seen her go through this process and finally starting to see some fruits from this. And I love it.
That's good.
It is. It's amazing. And so, like, I was actually disappointed in myself because I'm like, oh, this is my first day as a house husband because I work from home. So I'm like, I'm going to have dinner on the table right when she gets home at 5:30. But then one of my kids had a prescription that I had to pick up, and it took them like 20 minutes at the pharmacy. And like, so I had to like kill some time there while I was shopping with the other kids. And this is like, I only got home 5 minutes before you, so I'm sorry that dinner's not right on the table, but it's almost on the table, and our kids have decided that we're getting married now and are doing a ceremony, so yeah, it was fun. But yeah, no, I'm perfectly happy to be a house husband.
I read this, and the only thing I can think of now is just the fucking Vine. There's going to be 4 female Ghostbusters. Feminism is taking over. I'm an adult virgin.
If a woman being successful, if a woman being successful is a threat to your masculinity, then I hate to say it, but you're not masculine. Like, being secure in your masculinity, like, this isn't a man being secure in his masculinity. No, being secure in your, like, being competent at what you do, being secure in yourself and who you are. My partner, her finishing school and being successful and like actually having, like, finally working in this field that she's been studying for years to be able to work in. Why would I feel bad about that in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I am excited. This is a career path that she chose because it's fulfilling to her, and because I'm her partner and I love her and I care about her, I am excited for her to have a fulfilling career. Why would I do anything to quash that?
Like, I do not know why I would not want women who live in the United States to be able to vote. I don't know why I wouldn't want them, should they choose to be in a career, to go down and have every single chance of success at a career as a man would. I don't know why I wouldn't want those things, because they're human beings just like me. The only difference between us is, well, there's quite a few of them. There's actually 5 different things that we look at in terms of differences for sex, and even more if we're talking about gender. So actually, it's complicated enough for me to say, yeah, they're the fucking same as me. I don't care. Just let them work. Let them vote. Let them do all the things. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Who cares?
Also, she's going to be a therapist. She's fucking, like, just from her personality and how she interacts with everybody at home, she's going to be a fucking amazing therapist. So, like, the world would be less without her as the therapist. So the fact that she's almost there is like, yeah, the world is going to be a better place when she is a therapist. Good. So why would I try and stop that? Why would I not be happy about that? Like, the only thing I'm not happy with, like, she works tomorrow. So, like, she's not going to be home spending time with me tomorrow. And I love spending time with her. Like, okay. But that's just part of life. You're not going to be able to spend every waking moment with each other. So, like, I want her to do something apart from me that makes her fulfilled. Why would I not want that?
Yep. And then want the government to care for them? Yes, actually. Yes, I would like that. And I have very good reasons for that. One of the reasons is taxes. If I have to pay taxes into a system, I feel like I should get something back from that system.
Yeah.
Like, I had to do a stream recently to earn, and it's still technically going on for other expenses, but the stream PayPal pool thing that I have going right now was for property taxes, because while the channel is on an upswing, well, it's kind of petered out now compared to where it was, where I was basically having to survive off of a credit card and only a credit card for like 8 months, which was not a good place to be in.
I feel like he won't mind me quoting him here, but as I forget whether it was John or Casey, but it was one of them, said to me that YouTube is a fickle bitch.
YouTube is a fickle bitch.
And 110%. YouTube is a fickle bitch. So I feel like they won't mind me quoting them on that.
So, like, I also I did find the clip of it was Ali G telling Kent Hovind that he left a floater in his toilet and should have flushed it. I found the clip, sent it to you so you can watch it.
Kent Hovind interviewed Ali G?
Yes.
Or vice versa?
And Ali G said, like, hey, you
I never really cared for Ali G, but I feel like I'll like that.
You will like it. You will absolutely enjoy it. Okay. But yeah, no, if I'm having to pay property taxes and I want those property taxes to go to a good school to take care of my potential future kids, that's what I want. If I'm paying taxes on my channel's revenue, which I still have not done this year because I just don't have the money. But when I do, and like every year prior where I've paid those taxes as much as it has hurt, I would like something out of that, like, say, fucking medical care. That would be cool.
I get medical care out of my taxes.
That would be so neat. I would love that. God, imagine that. Could you imagine getting medical care after paying? They wanted me to pay $10,000 in taxes before I did all my deductions. It ended up being closer to like 2.5 or 3K after I did my deductions, but still, Jesus fuck.
Is it bad that I'm hearing that and being like, oh, that's so low? How cute. Because mine Mine's around 30K a year.
Your taxes are?
Yeah. But I mean, I get healthcare.
Yeah, you get healthcare.
Although, to be fair, like I actually, it breaks it down. You can see what your healthcare costs are, and I've never paid more than $700 a year for healthcare for my family.
I'm actually fairly certain my earnings for this year, the ones that are tax eligible, was like 35,000. So when you're like, yeah, my taxes were 30, I'm like, yeah, that's like 90% of what I made.
Yeah, it's painful.
But I'm also not having to support a family off of it. I'm supporting me and my partner, and she makes a little bit of revenue as well by streaming, so it's not entirely just me. So
I can't wait till my partner becomes a fully fledged therapist, and I get to just be like she'll be my sugar mama.
Yeah.
But anyway. Elon Musk. Okay, this one's been circulating.
I wanted to cover this one later, so this is revenge. This is revenge for you.
Okay, sure. He says, "Fine, Taylor, you win. I will give you a child and guard your cats with my life." Creepy motherfucker. How fucking creepy is that? What makes him think that she would want him to give her a child? As if give her a child is anything more than, like, glorified masturbation from his mind. Like, think about the way he takes care of his children that he already has. I think he came once and then he wrote a check.
Like, the problem with this tweet for me isn't just how he would treat the potential child, but I recognize that's a perspective that comes from you being a parent. My problem is it's really weird for Elon Musk to go public and just talk about his sexual fantasies of wanting to breed Taylor Swift. That's the weird part to me.
Yeah, it's gross. It's just gross no matter how you slice it. He wrote that and then he sent tweet. Or no, sorry, it says post now. We all still call them tweets. Like, does he not have someone read over his shit first to make sure that it's not going to, like, be bad for his PR?
I don't think anybody reads over his tweets. I think he does what Trump does, where he goes and takes a poop.
People like Trump and Musk should not have unfiltered access to their own site. They should have, like, an aide that they email the thing that they're thinking of tweeting, and then the aide will either reword it or just scrap it to be not a PR nightmare. And you'd think, like, if I had billions and billions of dollars, I'd have someone, like, verify that all my stuff is not going to make me look like a piece of shit before it goes public.
The problem, though, Rhino, is that you are conscious of your public image. Elon Musk is arrogant enough to believe he has an unassailable public image. That's this is like when whenever somebody says, like, oh, if I were a billionaire, I would be one of the good billionaires, and it has to be pointed out to them every time. No, you wouldn't, because the prerequisites,
you wouldn't have been a billionaire.
Yeah, the prerequisites for you to become a billionaire would have been for you to not be a good person. So Elon Musk here, yeah, he has the money to do that, obviously, but the type of personality he has is one that precludes him to not think that that's necessary at all.
Yeah, what a piece of shit. Jordan Satchel says, "Muir, every time Trump is killing it, I want to move on." Beg to differ. They let Trump talk whenever the fuck he wanted to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And when Harris tried to talk, it was, I want to move on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that your boy got fact-checked 4 times.
It's less than he's been fact-checked before. There was a CNN fact-check on him during one of his, I forget one of his events, and it was just like 35 or 40 different things he lied about. Yeah. Like, this is the lowest amount of fact checks he's gotten. It is
impossible to fact check him because literally everything he says is either a lie or misconstrued or decontextualized or something.
Yep. God, the part that got me so much about the debate, though, was how much he passed the buck onto other people. Not only just the
whiny baby.
Like, not only the JD Vance thing, right, where he passed the buck of that to him.
He spent the entire goddamn time just whining.
the amount of time where he said like, oh, and all of the people at the college I went to, they all said this was genius. And like, it's never your evaluation. It's always all of these other unnamed people who are saying your accolades, and you can't shut up about it. You're always talking about how much other people love you. You can never say, hey, I'm proud of what I did here. Like, you can't say something that small. It has to be magnified into, and the audience were clapping and half of them ejaculated everywhere. It was fantastic. Like, it's got to be that. You can't just accept that you did something good or bad. It always has to be this magnificent thing with a bunch of people responsible for it.
Everything is the best thing ever. Even if it's just some mundane thing where to say that it's the best thing ever would be utterly ridiculous. It's still the best thing ever. Like, it's fucking, like, I'm the best president for black people since the United States was founded, even better than Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln.
No, he said he was better than Abraham Lincoln.
Better than Abraham Lincoln, sorry.
It's like, I'm sorry. No, you're not better for black people than the guy who literally freed the slaves, you fucking jackass. Or the guy who signed into law the amendment that made black people people and let them vote. What have you done for black people as better than that? You haven't done shit.
Nope.
Although one of my favorite points in the debate was when they asked, I have the clip for that. Let's go back to the clips.
Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
I don't, and I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something. I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
Whatever she wants to be is okay with me. Bitch, she wants to be president.
Yeah, well, hey, look, her parents said she could be anything she wanted to be, so she's going to be president. That's how it works.
Yeah, she said she wants to be president. He said whatever she wants to be is okay with me, so Donald Trump endorsed Harris for president. There we go.
I guess so.
But he was also, like, it's so funny to watch him try and backtrack from that without actually backtracking. Because, like, he did double down on, they're like, oh, but she said she wasn't black and this whole thing, and that came from her, it didn't come from me. But I'm just like, whatever she wants to be. It was like, no, if you were like whatever she wants to be, then you wouldn't have brought it up, you jackass.
Yeah.
This is you trying to cast shade on her.
He needs the dunk. He needs the dunk so bad because he needs the media to play the clip of the dunk so often because so many of them have forgotten the fist in the air thing. It happened so long ago as far as the media is concerned.
Now in my mind, that's just like the blood on his face is just from when he scratched his ear on the podium on the way down. Like, officially, I still believe that he did get shot in the ear. He got nicked in the ear by a bullet. But the way he said that, it made me think that he got nicked by the podium on the way down.
He maybe got shot, Rhino.
And
how dare you feel that when he probably got shot?
Oh, what a jackass. Okay, Dr. Naomi Wolf says, why do I feel like 40% of the population is already dead? I feel like she means dead inside because if they were actually dead, that would be a ridiculous statistic thing going on. But then Ron Souther says, I'm an airline pilot and usually say goodbye to the passengers. Most have no life in their eyes and half of them won't even look up to say goodbye. Vaccine damage? Bad economy? Stress from all the communism? All three? Okay.
Oy, oy, oy.
Speaking as someone who has recently flown, could it not just be that traveling is exhausting and flying, because of all the bullshit they make you go through just to get on the goddamn plane, is more exhausting than other modes of travel? And so you're exhausted, and so when the pilot is like, have a good day, you don't feel like talking to him, so you're just like, eh.
So as somebody who's had to fly a lot in the last couple years because of the Alaska trip and various other things, I'm going to be honest, I used to really like flying. I really don't like flying anymore. And it's not, I'm an airline pilot, usually say goodbye to the passengers. Most have no life in their eyes. Half of them won't even look up to say goodbye. Is it possibly just maybe the fact, like you said, that we've made flying suck? And it's not just the fact that we've made all of the process leading up to the plane, being in the plane sucks now.
I say that flying sucks as someone who used to train to be a pilot and fucking loves flying the plane. If I'm in charge of the goddamn thing, it's amazing. But like, I can't do flying anymore. Like, and this isn't even just the, like, my partner will tell you how horrible I was when we were flying to Mexico with all the kids. Because like, I'm stressed out in that situation to begin with, and then you add 5 kids into the mix, that doesn't help. Mm-hmm. But like when we just flew ourselves to Colorado for a friend's wedding, like I was able to kind of keep it to myself, but like I don't do well in crowds. So like I can't go to Costco. Costco drives me nuts. There's just too many fucking people there. So I'm just like, nope, I'm just not going. If there's something we need from Costco, I will either go somewhere else and pay more for it, or you will go to Costco. And it's the same kind of thing with flying. And when we were on the plane to Colorado, one of the times I was like at a window seat, and our plane was delayed on the tarmac after we landed. And so like I was, and the people beside me were not getting up, so I was trapped there, and I was just like, it was like, I can't, it's just, and that's when I don't have 5 kids with me. And when you have 5 kids with me, where like 2 of them are young enough that like, they're like, no, I just want to go, I'm going to crawl over the seats to go up in front, because I want to get off the plane. I'm like, I want to get off the fucking plane too, but you sit your fucking ass down, you little shit. I'm like, nope, can't do that. They're just kids. They're just kids. I'm supposed to be in control of myself here. What the fuck is going on? No, flying fucking sucks. So yeah. If you think that people not making eye contact and saying goodbye to you is a sign of vaccine stress, like, no, that's just that flying sucks because we've got all this security theater going on.
I don't think it's just the security theater. I think it goes even further.
Oh yeah, no, it's more than that. It's the airlines
fucking experience.
Yeah,
the experience being on the plane is miserable. The experience leading up to it, even after you get past the security theater. So like Saki and I, we spent a lot of time stuck in the airport when all that was happening. So like our food was there, our sleep was there, everything was there. Everything is super expensive. It's a constant assailment of your senses. How much everybody's trying to sell you. Do you want a neck pillow for the road? Do you want this travel brochure? Do you want this food that costs $30,000?
When we went to Mexico, I didn't realize that on an international flight, you actually had to like, in between planes, if you have a connection flight, you have to go pick up your checked baggage, move it over to another fucking conveyor belt, and just put it on that conveyor belt, because apparently the employees can't just read the tags and do that for you. You have to redo that because you're crossing a border all of a sudden. And then you have to go through customs, even though you're not in the country yet, which once you get there, you have to go through customs again. And like they tell you, when you're doing an international flight, you have to be there 3 hours beforehand. But the international portion of our flight was at the connection, and so they only gave us like an hour and a half to get from one plane to the other. But in that hour and a half, we had to collect our bags, put them, like, recheck our bags, go through security again, get like, and is it like,
Jesus,
it was such a fucking rush. But then like, because we were on an international flight, we were 3 hours early for our flight, but that wasn't the international portion, so they weren't being all super duper strict about things. So like, we got there and we were just sitting around with nothing to do for 2 hours. So you go from I have nothing to do and everybody is bored to hurry the fuck up, we have to go or we're gonna miss this plane and we're gonna end up like thousands of dollars in the hole because we missed our fucking plane. And yeah, no, it was, I fucking hate it.
It's a stressful environment because there's 12 billion moving parts.
And then you want me to be polite and say hi to the pilot? Like, no, okay, thanks for landing the plane and getting me there alive, but like, no, go away. I don't want to talk to you right now. So fuck off, Ron.
Ooh.
Donald J. Trump, I believe this is the last tweet. Yeah, we're back to Ben Shapiro. Says, In the world of boxing or UFC, when a fighter gets beaten or knocked out, they get up and scream, "I demand a rematch! I demand a rematch!" Well, it's no different with a debate. She was beaten badly last night. Every poll has us winning, in one case 92-8. What the fuck poll is having him winning 92-8? So why would I do a rematch?
He's not going to link the poll, of course.
No, obviously not. Yeah, like, honestly, I'm surprised they're still neck and neck. Like, I don't know how it can possibly be neck and neck in this fucking thing. But, yeah, no, like,
no.
The fact
the reason they're neck and neck is because they were only fighting for 8% of the vote here.
True.
Like,
yeah, but I don't.
There are Republicans that are going to vote red no matter what, even if they end up dead.
Yeah. So looking at the current polls on 538, which they aggregate all of the polls, and they've got there are two that ended today, which Harris is +3 over Trump in both of those polls. So that's not every poll having Trump winning. That is Harris is over Trump by 3%, which, yeah, that's probably within the margin for error for those polls, but he's still behind. But yeah, also with her demanding another debate, it's not the same as a rematch with a boxing thing. This is, when it comes to elections or whatever, it's my performance is going to help me win more votes. So if I am confident that my performance was successful, I want to do it again so I can win more votes. It's not the same as a boxing rematch where, like, oh, I lost that title, but there was some technicality or some bullshit went wrong where a rematch is in order and I need to have a second try at the thing that I lost. It is, I won a lot of votes and I feel like I can win more by doing this again. So, yeah. The fact that Trump is trying to spin it this way means that Trump knows he lost that debate.
Like, she knows she clowned on him, so she wants a follow-up. Like, Trump wanted a follow-up to the Biden debate because he knew that he could just trounce on it. It was the left that was very desperate for Biden to not get on the debate stage again. Now it's Trump who's desperate to not get on the debate stage because he did bad. He doesn't want to admit he did bad because all the best people tell him he didn't do bad. 92-8, he did wonderful, amazing, the best ever. But no, he did fucking horrible.
I don't know what the context for this was, but Fennec the Rabbit says, my phone is set up so that if your number isn't in my phone just doesn't ring. And that reminded me that every time Suris goes live on Twitch, my phone says, ooh-woo.
Ooh-woo.
Ah, that's the exact one that's on my phone, actually. And this is set up to go random, so that it was fun that worked out that way.
Ooh-woo. God damn it. Ooh-woo. 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 Ooh-woo.
Ooh-woo, small beans, little babies.
Ooh-woo. So, yeah. I have lots of Suris ooh-woo recordings now.
Of course you do.
I do. I think
ooh-woo.
That was the one that I made you say.
Ooh-woo. Ooh-woo.
Anyway.
I'm so tired now, just from that.
It is 20 after 11. We should get going. So, I will talk to you later. Thanks for joining me. And as always, ooh, fuck off.
Hey, just wanted to give a quick thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who help keep me afloat and help keep this channel going. YouTube and Twitch are wonderful platforms, but at the end of the day, stability is not one of their strong suits. If you want to support my channel, then obviously Patreon is one of the best ways of doing that. Link is in the description. But I do want to personally thank everybody who has contributed to the channel. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Autumn and Angel, Nixie Chan, Agamotto, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fire Shard. And everyone else who supports my channel and lets me do what I do full time. This is a dream job of mine that I never believed that I would be able to take full time, and with your help, I've been able to do it. So thank you so very much for that. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you all enjoy, and I hope you all are having a wonderful time. I will see you all in the next one, hopefully.